Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of the Switch It podcast, a series where myself and Bailey talk everything football. Now, I'd like to start today's episode by, obviously, we've taken a bit of a break. Bailey was away, and we've both just been busy with work, but obviously we weren't going to leave it too long. We were just taking a couple weeks off, as we were posting pretty much, 2-3 times a week because of the busy Liverpool schedule. But we're back to it now, ready to discuss football.
We are.
Anything you'd like to add, Bailey, before we get started?
Well, I'd just like to second what you were saying there about us having a little break. Obviously, we can't do every single game when we're working. It's just trying to find a good balance, really. So we'll try and do it as much as we can going forward. But to the football, Liverpool have got through what on paper it looked like a really tricky patch. Playing City away, Villa away, Newcastle at home in particular, and we seemed to. Well, we played really well. We got obviously a win at the Etihad. We won against Newcastle and we got a draw against Villa at Villa Park, which, tricky games, really tricky games, and we've managed to get through it. So
that Villa one we could have won.
Yeah, we had so many chances, and Nunes as well. What was he doing, man?
I know. The annoying thing about that game was Diaz was brought on after Nunes, so
yeah.
But Diaz has been in better form, so why isn't he the first player to come on? And if he was, he would have probably put that in the back of the net, and that's what
I know.
Impact subs of that quality are meant to give us.
Yeah, I know we're going to try and recap on these games as quickly as possible as well, but I'd just like to mention in that Villa game as well, Jota. He should have put away his chances as well. I think Nunes got a lot of the stick, but there was a couple of chances really that Jota, you'd have fancied him to score every time, and he just completely messed it up. Luckily we had Trent at the end there to, before he got subbed off for Bradley to show his attacking quality and obviously put away the chance that he had come to him. So fair play to Trent, and also, he's a player I'll touch on in this episode, but he's been sort of up and down with his form a little bit recently because his attacking ability he's shown to everyone what he can do attacking wise. Some of the balls he's playing recently are unbelievable, but also in the City game his defending was pretty atrocious against Doku. I know Doku didn't do anything with the ball after he got past Trent. I don't think he did anything once. He failed to put a cross in and things like that, but his defending it's really shocking. I don't know what you think on that, but I feel like whenever Bradley's at right back, I just feel safer because I know that not many people are going to get past him, and obviously he's good. He's proven the type of defender he is when he did that tackle against Mbappe, Bradley. But you just don't. You don't see Trent making them types of tackles. He constantly gets dribbled past. Like, he just doesn't know how to defend.
Yeah, I mean, you could back it up because he has been. I get that he wasn't as good defensively in that game, but compared to other seasons, he's been better defensively. And what you would say is a lot of fullbacks would struggle against Doku. Doku's one of the best 1v1 players in the game with his little shuffle thing. I mean, obviously, it's not as bad for Trent because Doku, his end product's not amazing. I think that's what was saving him in that game against City.
Yeah, totally agree with you on that one. But yeah, I think Trent ended up actually breaking a record for the most amount of times that a right back's been dribbled past in Premier League history, and for a team that's meant to be chasing the title, which we are. Don't get me wrong, the results are coming our way, and I know he makes up for it with what he can do attacking wise and providing assists and the balls he plays and things like that. But that is just not the standard, and as well, if you're wanting to prove to Real Madrid, like, come and sign me, and I'm worth X amount of money, I demand these amount of wages a week, which will be more than what he's getting paid at Liverpool, don't get me wrong, but if he's expecting Real Madrid to actually come in and make a serious offer and take him on board, he can't be defending like that. because Real Madrid just will not accept that, will they?
Mm.
You know, they've got
I
Danny Carvajal. Obviously, he's injured at the minute, but they've got Danny Carvajal at right back right now, and he's arguably probably one of the best defensive right backs in world football. You know, in the last couple of years, and for Trent to
yeah,
come, he's going to have to be able to be a like for like replacement for Carvajal, and that does cover defensively as well as attacking wise, because Real Madrid's squad is they've got an embarrassment of riches with like all their attackers. They've got Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo. You've got countless players who are like unbelievable world class attackers. So the attacking thing won't mean a lot to them because they can score goals. You know, they want a defensive right back who can play balls into the midfielders and attackers, but also who can put a shift in and get stuck in with the tackles, and he just doesn't show that at Liverpool right now. Which part of me feels that pressure could be a factor to it that Liverpool might actually use to offer Trent a new contract at Liverpool, because they might understand that Real Madrid might not want that type of player.
yeah, and people would say that Real Madrid are just want him because of his stature, and Real Madrid usually go for that. But Real Madrid are a good like well-run club. They will look at all details, not just his stature.
Yeah. They'll be looking at every single little detail to do with Trent in particular, and if they think the likes of potentially like Frimpong at Leverkusen is a better option for them, then they'll just go for him. But I think they've made it pretty clear that Trent's going to be the priority. So I don't know what you think on this one, but if you're hearing that Real Madrid want you, you'd be putting in a shift on that pitch every single week to prove to the Real Madrid that I can play for your club.
Yeah, I don't think he's intentionally slipping up defensively. I think he puts in a shift every game. Like you see him, defend and then bomb down the other side of the pitch. I just think.
But he's always been a poor defender.
If he's to play for Real Madrid, he needs to be as solid as a player like Danny Carvajal, because that's what they'll want.
Yeah, he just does look a little bit lightweight in ways when in a 1v1 situation. Like, if someone comes one-on-one against Trent, you favour the attacker rather than Trent getting the ball, if you know what I mean. I don't know if you get the same vibes. But when Bradley's in a 1v1, you fancy Bradley actually coming out with the ball after the 1v1, That's just a little one. So we'll move on to the Newcastle game then. That was overall, I think, probably up there with one of the best all-round performances of the season. I know it was only 2-0 and it could have been more, but still, even when you bring in the likes of Endo off the bench and you just feel safe after he comes on the pitch to keep the
safe.
You just feel
That's
safe.
how the game felt. It just felt safe.
I think we defended and attacked really well.
Van Dijk and Konate. When you look at it, if it's not Van Dijk, it's Konate. If it's not Konate, it's Van Dijk. For an attacker to get past them both, it just seems impossible for teams at the minute.
And you just mentioned Konate there, and he made a Joel Matip run, with the ball. He went from his own penalty box and ended up running three-quarters of the way down the pitch. Obviously, nothing came from it in the end, but that just reminded me of Joel Matip's dodgy runs where he ends up running all the length of the pitch with the ball. But no one expects that of a player like Konate, so that's probably why he gave it a go. When he's running forward with the ball, you're thinking, what is he doing? But it's the mind games. This is what I like about Slot. He's kept the mental side of Liverpool. Klopp had the Liverpool team as like mentality monsters, and the thing I like about Slot is that we've retained that mentality in the team. So things are looking good. So we're 13 clear now. Do you think that we've won the league? Or do you think there's a couple more? Do you think there's one or two more games we should win and keep?
All I'll say is what's made our recent form so good, and it's not, we haven't had it perfect. We drew to Everton, we drew to Villa, but it's because Arsenal have dropped points as well as us picking up points. I think it's Arsenal. Like, our biggest title contenders are playing, like, they have 3 available forwards.
Yeah.
And it's like they're being forced to play players like Sterling, academy players in the forward line, and Raheem Sterling is completely out of his depth.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch Arsenal on like Sky,
I know.
or like in a game at the minute, and you see Raheem Sterling, you just know what he's going to do. He's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
Or
his
the
Man
only
City
thing he'll
tricks-
do is
his-
play it back to the centre half.
His tricks that he was using at Man City just will not work. No, he's past the times there. You know, you can't be playing like you were when you were winning the league with City, and you can't be expecting balls like what De Bruyne was passing into you off bloody Mikel Merino or Nwaneri. You can't be expecting that, you know, because there's just nowhere near as good. You know, that Man City team that he won the league with 4 or 5 times, whatever it was, yeah, that was just unbelievable football. But Arsenal just defensively great. You know, conceded the least amount of goals in the league by I think 3 to us. You know, defensively the team's great, but attacking wise, they just can't do anything right now because all the players are injured. Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, all their goal scorers are out. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Bailey, you were saying, do I think Liverpool will win the league?
Yeah.
Listen to this. So, this is if Arsenal win all of their last 11 games, including away at Anfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. All we need to do is win. I think it's 6 or 7 of our last 10, and that's if Arsenal win all 11.
Yeah, and I think 6
with
of our games
Sterling
are
and
at Anfield as
Nwaneri.
well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We have Everton at Anfield, Southampton at Anfield, even Arsenal at Anfield.
every game's a cup final for us, isn't it? Really.
You know what is like? I think it is interesting. I think Arsenal will get Champions League.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, but I think that
Arsenal might still not be second. It could be Forest. It could be City. It could be Chelsea because
there's only 5 points.
Forest and City are only 2 or 3 wins off catching Arsenal. You think?
Yeah.
City or Forest can have a good patch. Arsenal can lose one, maybe draw one, and then they'll lose at Anfield. Then they're fourth. They're not second anymore.
And I mean,
I also think that's a possibility.
Like you were saying there as well. I mean, the thing with Arsenal is they're 13 points behind us now. I think they've got a game in hand. So let's just call it 10 for argument's sake. City are 20 points behind us right now. And like you say, they're 2 or 3 games away from getting to second. I can't see City getting anywhere near to us, even if we have a big losing streak. You know, I still can't see City being any sort of form of threat.
I think my opinion is Arsenal are closer.
Yeah.
To the Champions League teams and dropping out of the Champions League than they are to winning the league to us.
Yeah. Well, I think Arsenal are closer to 10th than us, aren't they? That was a stat.
Arsenal's aim should be to be in the Champions League next season because because it's unfortunate. You know, they'd only be a few points off us if Saka, Havertz, Martinelli, and Jesus didn't get injured. But like people keep calling Arsenal bottlers. I get they're not winning trophies, but if you look at them 5 years ago, getting Champions League season after season, 3 seasons in a row. You know, it's not bad.
No.
You know, that a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, the fans would have said, if you say to them, we're going to be challenging Liverpool and City, we're going to have, Champions League 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
They'd 100% take that. It's it's like asking Spurs or United that question now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like asking a Spurs fan now, would you take Champions League 3 seasons in a row? In 2 or 3 years, they'd say yes.
Yeah, I think the frustration for Arsenal fans though would be that Arteta's been at Arsenal now for what, five years or so, ish.
It's the trophies.
You know, and I think they've won the FA Cup once and two Community Shields, and for Slot to come to Liverpool in his first season and win the league. You know, that is going to be what hurts for Arsenal fans, is that a manager's just walked into a Liverpool team that was second or third for a solid 6 or 7 years, and then he's just walked into a Liverpool team and used what was there and wins the league. You know, that's going to be the frustration for Arsenal fans, is that why couldn't Arteta do it that simple with Arsenal?
But,
and, you know, for me, I think the reason, if I was going to say Liverpool are going to win the league, and a lot of the pundits say exactly that they think it's done and dusted, but the only reason I do think that Liverpool are going to win the league, other than being biased as a Liverpool fan, is that we're not losing games. Yes, we're drawing the odd game, but we're not losing. You know, we've only lost one game in the Premier League against Forest, and that was last October, one of the first games of the season.
Yeah, we're getting points and results in tough games, and then we're winning the games we should be winning.
We're getting a point in a minimum in every single game we're playing in. You know, out of the fixtures that we've got left, if we were going to lose, I can only see it being in the Chelsea away game, which would be a disappointing loss, and Arsenal at home. But I'd still think that we're favourites to win in both of them games. You know, so I just feel like the way we're playing at the minute, and I don't want to jinx anything, but we're too good to let it slip now. You know, we've got a good system going, and I think the fixtures that we've got coming up are favourable for us. I think Arsenal have got a lot of a harder way to win the league than us. But like you say, I don't think Arsenal are chasing the league anymore. I think they're going to try and stay within arm's reach in case that Liverpool actually, you know, have a bit of a mess towards the end of the season. But I think, you know, I think they're done.
Yeah, I think we could win 4 or 5 games and still win the league at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the thing is,
personally, the sooner the better, though, for me, because then the full focus can be on the Champions League. You know, I think that's going to be priority for Slot. You know, we've had a couple of days off now. We've not had to play over the weekend. I think Slot's going to go to Paris now, tomorrow, and I think anything less than a draw, I think he'll be really disappointed with. You know, because Liverpool have had a week now to get, you know, regather, recuperate. You know, everyone's been rested. Everyone's at full fitness now. You know, we've only got 1 or 2 players out, and they're not even. It doesn't really impact us as a squad. Everyone's still here. But I think minimum a draw, but we should be winning at Paris. I know they've been in good form, but I think we should be coming back with you know, not 3 points, but the win.
Yeah.
You know, it's Anfield, make our lives a lot easier. But if we did happen to lose, I still favour us at Anfield.
Yeah. I mean, Bailey, if you think of this, you're talking about wrapping it up. Our easier games are our first 6 before we have Chelsea away and then Arsenal.
Yeah.
We have home to Southampton, home to Everton, Fulham, home to West Ham, Leicester, and then home to Spurs. So we could wrap it up with 4 games left, because all of them games that I've just mentioned are winnable. The tougher games are the last 4, away to Chelsea, home to Arsenal, and away to Brighton.
And we don't want to be doing as well what we've been doing in the last couple of seasons, where it ends up going to the last day. You know, that is pure heartbreak if something bad happens on the last day and you've left it, or you've let a lead slip. That'd just be heartbreaking for the club, because we've experienced that for 2 years on the run.
Yeah.
So
would you not say it's even more heartbreaking, because we're already feeling like we've got it within reach massively compared to the other seasons where we were neck on neck and we never knew.
Yeah, exactly that. And for me as well, I think the target should be for Liverpool that we need to win the league before Arsenal come to Anfield. And really, to rub it in is the fact that Arsenal will have to give us a guard of honour. You know, that'd just be it'd just be great, that.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned PSG. Before we go on to PSG and Champions League, let's just go over a few players, you know, from the recent form we've had.
Yeah.
And do you want to, let's start light and then we'll go on to the bigger player. Obviously not better players, but one who's been outstanding. But starting with the centre-back partnership. I think if Van Dijk and Konate can remain fit for the rest of the season, how easy they make games look and how impossible they are to attack against, I think it's obvious we're going to win the league if them two stay fit.
Yeah, and I think that partnership, Van Dijk and Konate, they've been the best two centre-backs in the league all season for me. Saliba and Gabriel would be next, but I think they've been massively off it. To go in... and one thing I'd just like to touch on super quick is that we went into this Premier League season, everyone was like, oh, this is Arsenal's year. And everyone was hyping up Gabriel and Saliba, saying, oh yeah, these two are the best centre-backs, best two centre-backs, as a pair in Premier League history. These are two of the best of all time. But I just don't understand where the rumours came from, where everyone was saying, oh yeah, right, so this could be the season where the least amount of goals are conceded by a league-winning team. And then all of a sudden, Arsenal was conceding goal after goal after goal and drawing games against like Bournemouth away. That's where it started for me, really. And then all of a sudden it came to light, like, why has everyone overhyped them? And a big thing for me is I think Saliba, in particular, is so overrated. That's a controversial one coming from me, but I think Gabriel's an okay centre back. I think he's pretty average. He's like equivalent to like Konate, Quansah, that kind of level. But people saying Saliba's like equal in ability to Van Dijk, I think they're stupid to be saying that. Van Dijk's clear for me of most centre backs in the league, and I'd say Konate's the second best centre back. I don't know what you think of that, but people who say Saliba and Van Dijk are in the same conversation, I think they're delusional, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Van Dijk argument is clear. No one should be arguing that.
No.
Maybe you could argue if you were to put Gabriel in our team and Konate in Arsenal's team. Gabriel would be talked about as good as Konate is because they're playing next to Van Dijk. But
Saliba and Konate is a fair enough, comparison. Saliba and Konate is an alright comparison, in my opinion. Compare them with all the will in the world, but to be comparing Saliba and Konate and Saliba and Van Dijk, there's no way. Van Dijk's
especially after this season.
So clear of every centre back in the league right now. It's unbelievable. Just the leadership and the aura he has on the pitch. It's just unmatched, really.
I completely agree.
That's just my opinion. So, shall we move on to the PSG game then?
Yeah, one more thing. You'll probably want to speak about this. Dominik Szoboszlai.
Oh yeah.
He's just come into form.
Yeah, he's been.
And I think he was missing. We've talked about this on a podcast episode. I can't remember which games it was, but he was missing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been Spurs or United.
Yeah, it's where we lost. It's where we lost away at Spurs. I think it's something like that. Yeah.
And now he's back in the team and he's fully fit. You can notice it. You can see it.
Well, you can see.
And he's popping up in areas
where the hole was in the team.
Yeah. And it's now he's sort of combining that press and the energy he brings, which is what he's so good at, and he's adding goal contributions, and that just makes him one of the best all-round players in the league.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Simple as.
Yeah, I think our three midfielders, to be fair, I think we've been really lucky this season, because when they were first signed, I don't think a lot of people had much faith that them three midfielders would be able to link up and play, like the best midfield in the league. Gravenberch was third option off the bench to come off for Bayern. He did have a good spell at Bayern, but then before we signed him, he was never getting played, really. He was just playing a couple minutes off the bench each game. Szoboszlai was playing every week for Leipzig, but still, it wasn't really. There wasn't much confidence when we signed him, and McAllister obviously was doing unbelievable at Brighton, but when people thought, right, well, you've got a player from three different leagues, can they come together and play like a Prem winning midfield? No one had any faith.
And they
And
were
they've
all in the same position as well.
yeah,
They were all a 10.
and they've all proved well. They've proven everyone wrong really. So I think
Yeah,
that's a credit to all three of them that they've managed to link up and play like they have.
yeah. They've adapted really well. I mean, Szoboszlai's in that position he naturally was, but McAllister and Gravenberch have both gone deeper
Yeah,
than what they were naturally, which is
and yeah, I always thought Gravenberch was better defensively than he was attacking wise. But we've seen as well that he can dribble the ball, and that is turning when the ball comes to him. And just moving around players and just shoving them off. For a player of his build, he shows a lot of strength, and I think that's critical for a Prem leading team to have a player like that who can pivot and turn and play forward like a perfect six role really. So yeah, I think really good with the midfield. These last few games they've not let us down.
yeah, 100%.
So
Right, Champions League.
yeah, Champions League.
Some big fixtures coming up.
Yeah, so we've pretty much got everyone available really. I think there was talk about Gakpo potentially being ill yesterday or today, but he's still travelling with the Liverpool team. So it looks like he might be on the better end of that little illness. I don't think it was much. I think it was just flu or something. But it looks really that everyone else is pretty much there. And I think Gomez is out, but other than that, I don't think anyone's out really.
No, we look strong as ever.
Bradley's out as well, I think, isn't he? But still, that's nothing to worry about. He'll be back soon.
All I'm gonna say is I know our form, and I know the confidence we'll have coming into the game. People look at us and think we'll win.
Yeah.
But PSG right now look like a real team.
Yeah,
they've just come off the back of their 10-0 aggregate win in the round of 32.
Yeah.
And they have a system just like not the same system as us, but a system where everyone is doing what they need to do within that system.
Yeah, and I
that
think
formation.
Liverpool and PSG, I think in Europe right now are the two teams in best form in their respective leagues. So Liverpool haven't lost a game in the Premier League since early on in the season last year in 2024, and similar with PSG really. They've been unbeaten in Ligue 1 for God knows how long. They've not lost a game. I don't know the exact dates, but it was 2024 when they last lost a game against Lille or Lyon or someone like that. But yeah, they've not lost a game since last year in all competitions, which, we're going to PSG and facing up against that, and PSG are going to want to win that game, and we're going to want to win it as well. So could go both ways really, but for me, I'm thinking it's going to be a draw and it goes back to Anfield to be decided. That's my prediction really, but what draw scoreline it'll be, I'm not sure. I'm thinking it could be goals because both teams have got so much attacking quality. So I'm going to get my prediction out of the way now and say 2-2.
Is that for the first leg?
Yeah, for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the main factor in the tie is, it's a tough game, but I think what factors us is the fact that the second leg's at Anfield, and that's always big in the Champions League, having the second leg at your home ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if we're talking first leg, Salah and Ousmane Dembele, they're scoring every game, assisting every game. So you'd think there's going to be goals. However, both teams are very good with their system. So you could also think... But I don't think PSG would play away where it's like, we're gonna play it safe, because they won't want to go back to Anfield without a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just won't want to do that. They'll want to defend at Anfield, not at the Parc des Princes.
Yeah, and I think PSG, it's a come up on my screen here, that PSG, they're averaging a goal every 48 minutes in all competitions. So that's pretty good going for any team really. If their expected goals 1.9 a game, pretty much 2 goals a game, it's going to take a lot of stopping. And I've seen recently as well that in 3 of PSG's last 5 games or so, they've they've won by 7 goals to 0. It's not often you see a team win 7-0 3 times in the space of 2 weeks. So
Yeah. I was about to predict PSG scoring 3, but then I just think of Van Dijk and Konate. That's the issue.
Yeah, I think we're going to be really organised, and I think PSG had to play at the weekend. They're going to be less rested. I know they're at home, but still, we come into this game with fresher legs than they do. And yeah, personally, I think the worst result Liverpool can walk away with is a draw, in my opinion. I might be completely wrong, but I'm pretty confident that we'll either get a draw or the win.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be as many goals as people think, because PSG will go for goals, but us defensively, and then we probably won't go for as many goals because we're just going to try and take, either 1-0 lead or a draw back to Anfield. So
no, I mean personally,
I'm going to sit on
I don't know what you think as well, but as a Liverpool fan, part of me would rather us go back to Anfield with a draw than a win. And I know that sounds mad to say, but just solely based on the atmosphere. The crowd at Anfield will be so much better if we've still got a game to win and it was a draw and there's still a game on, than if we're going into the game with a lead and people think, oh, well, we're just going to defend this lead and win and go through to the next round. Because we've seen in the past that doesn't work. I just part of me thinks it's going to be 1-1 or 2-2, so I'll go for the goals, say 2-2. Go back to Anfield, get the job done.
I'm going to sit on the fence and say 1-1, but what I would say is, even if PSG came to Anfield with a lead, whether it was 1 goal or 2 goals, that's maybe not 2 goals, but if, say for example, PSG win 3-2 in the first leg, people are still going to back Liverpool.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the Barca game, the Spurs game.
Yeah.
Like, people are still going to be... No one's going to be not confident in Liverpool because we're down in the tie. No. People are going to be confident in us.
Yeah, and like you say, the important thing is that if we are going to go back to Anfield with a loss, that it's only 1 goal. Make our lives 10 times easier than having to score 3 goals and to get ahead and win. I think both of us are there, aren't we? Not tomorrow, but next Tuesday.
Yeah, the Anfield one.
We're both at Anfield, so it'd be interesting for me to see if the game goes to extra time. Because if it goes to extra time and then pens, I mean, anything could happen. But I favour us at Anfield.
It'll be a late one, won't it?
It'll be a late one, yeah. Like regardless of the result,
Jesus.
Regardless of the result, though, that we go back to Anfield with, I still favour Liverpool. Even if it is 2 goals and it's a really bad day tomorrow, I still favour Liverpool. You have to be confident because we're top of the league and we're not losing any games. So, and even when we have lost games, it's to Plymouth. That was with the second team, basically. And when we went to Spurs away in the Carabao Cup, that was with a weakened team as well. But that's the only 2 games I think we've lost this year. Eindhoven as well, but we were like you say as well, we were playing an academy team, so we've not actually lost a game. Other than Forest, we've not lost a game with our full strength squad. And that's pretty
crazy.
It's pretty remarkable, that really, in comparison to even City when they've won the league. They've lost games at their full best. They've lost 2 or 3 by the end of the season. So yeah, things are looking good for Liverpool, and I back us to get the result. Probably not to get the job done in the whole tie tomorrow, but across the 2 legs, I back Liverpool regardless.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be 1-1. I think PSG are going to... No, I'll stay 1-1, but if it's 2-1 or 3-2 to PSG, then
yeah,
I was thinking that as well.
Yeah. Should we just have a quick talk about a couple of other games in the Champions League before we wrap it up?
before we do, it's currently 5-3 to you on predictions.
Oh yeah. So you can't overtake
So-
me after this week anyway. So.
No, I can. Remember bonus points if it's the exact prediction.
Yeah.
So, wait. You can only get, I think, if it's 0-0, then we both don't get points. But if it's 3-3, we don't get points. If it's because remember, it's 1 point for the goal difference. So, say for example, you say 1-0 to Liverpool and we win 2-1.
Yeah.
And I said 2-0 to Liverpool. You'd get it. If that makes sense. So that's one. But then it's 2 points for if you get the exact result.
Yeah. Yeah.
So technically, I can.
Technically, you can.
But you could also go 7-3 up if it's 2-2.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you can only draw level, can't you? After this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Other fixtures.
Yeah.
Some big fixtures.
Yeah, there is.
Obviously tonight.
Yeah.
We'll probably. Are you watching the Madrid derby?
I might do. You know, I might have a look at it. I think the game that I might watch though is PSV Arsenal.
You think?
I want to see Arsenal get stuffed, to be honest. If it's a boring game though, then yeah, I'll switch over to Real Madrid.
I can see. I don't know. I just think it's the atmosphere, and I think there might be more goals in.
Yeah, but before
Real.
them games, there's a game at 5:45 which could be. Well, either one of them could be our next round opponents if we get past PSG, and that is Club Brugge versus Aston Villa. I don't know.
It's so cool watching a team like Villa in a knockout stage of a Champions League. Like, imagine like a Villa Liverpool quarter-final. Like, if you say that a couple of years ago, it's just unheard of, isn't it? It's
it'd be
crazy.
a great watch that, but personally, as a Liverpool fan, I'd rather it be Brugge. I don't know about you, but
obviously, but from a neutral point of view,
across two legs, and if it was Liverpool Villa, the return fixture, if that tie would be at Villa Park, I can see that being not so easy. Yeah. They're going to be up for it if they come up against us, but I'd like to think that I can back Bruges to get a result, but I can't fully trust them. They've always been an up and down team, and they've already lost to Man City this year. I think in the Champions League. I think they went 1-0 up actually, and then I think City ended up winning it in the end. But yeah, I mean, the Belgian league's never really been a high quality league, at all, really, has it?
Yeah. I think Villa will win that one.
Similar in ability to like the Dutch league, Eredivisie, and things like that. But yeah, part of me thinks that Villa are going to end up winning this. Maybe not today.
Yeah.
But once they go back to Villa Park, I think
maybe not today.
That's going to be one hell of a atmosphere at Villa Park on the return leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that game kicks off in just over 20 minutes from now. At the time of recording.
Yeah, and then the episode's going up at 6. Yeah.
So. Yeah. So there's that game, PSV Arsenal. I'd just like to make a quick little summary of that. I think that PSV might get a result at home. Arsenal will probably end up winning the tie at the Emirates, but I think PSV could win this. They could scrape a 1-0 win or something like that, maybe.
You know what? You're completely right, because PSV probably will score because of the atmosphere and the energy levels. And Arsenal, Saka's not going to be back till the next leg. I mean, he might not even be back until the next leg. I mean, what I mean is Arsenal don't have the team that can score goals.
No, I think it's already been confirmed.
So what you're saying could be completely right.
Yeah, I don't think Saka's going to be back until after the international break, so that's going to be sometime in April, and I think that goes for all three of their attackers. I think Gabriel Jesus is out for the season, but Martinelli and Saka both come back at similar times in April. So yeah, they're going to be without them two players.
I think Havertz could be season. I'm not sure if he's April or season.
Yeah, somewhat like he's out for a long time anyway. But yeah, like you say,
But
Sterling, he's going to have to put in a shift if he wants to.
But by the time we get into like mid-April, the title could be already over for them.
That's it. Yeah. By the time their good players come back, that might be it. It might already be game over. But we'll soon see. I think we're going to do another episode towards the end of the week before the weekend, where we'll go over the Champions League games and just have a quick look at the Prem games of the weekend. But yeah, we'll look to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking good for Liverpool. I think anything could happen tomorrow night, but hopefully we get the win.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap things up?
No, I think we've covered just about everything.
No? Well, thank you to everyone who tuned in to the Switch It podcast series, episode 13. Please like and subscribe and drop a comment to help us improve future videos, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. And yeah, thank you to everyone who tuned in, and goodbye for now.
Up the fucking red.